Today we have come to the studio to talk and train you about some of the new things which have been done in the new textbooks class 1 to 3 of Sikkim, which you might have received by till now. So this year the textbooks which you are getting have been developed by SCRT Education Department, Government of Sikkim, in collaboration with Azim Premji University, Bangalore, and UNESCO MGIEP, which stands for Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Education for Peace and Sustainable Development. The new textbooks are developed keeping in mind the following aspects. Number one, the learning outcomes as prescribed by NCERT are being followed in the new textbooks. The integration of education for sustainable development goals for implementing United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals of Education for Peace and Sustainable Development. If you see the books, there are no environmental science in classes 1 and 2 this year. The integration of EVS has been done with English language and mathematics textbooks in class 1 and 2 with introduction of English only from class 3 onwards. Hence you find that maths has lot of EVS component in it. The content of the books is embedded in the socio-cultural context and experiences of the children who come to our government schools. Care has been taken to connect school learning to the real world of the children, where children are free to explore and ask questions without fear for being wrong or judged, keeping in mind the National Curriculum Framework 2005. So if you see the chapter 1 of class 2, there's a chapter called Bundles and Sticks. It has a story of two children helping their parents to collect firewood and the children making a beta of 10. So here we have introduced a word beta, which is a local word in Nepali. So we have not exactly translated the word beta. So the children, they are familiar with the word beta. Hence we have kept that as beta. Similarly, addition and subtraction has been introduced through stories of locally played games like Pittu and Snake and Ladders. Examples are given in such a way that children are themselves encouraged to do addition and subtraction rather than the teachers teaching them to do it. The lessons have been written to encourage the children to care and respect the natural environment and the people. The children can find words like bita, churpi, doko, lukachupi, titepati, chautara, etc. Even names of trees have been kept as dhupi, chilaune, uttis, panisas, kattus, series. So no literal translation has been made, as the children will feel more comfortable with words which are familiar to them. Geometrical shapes and volumes have been introduced through stories from the chapter Gardening and Cleanliness Drive and Plantation at Village in class 2. The chapters have been designed in such a way that the children are made conscious of the surroundings, and subtly the concepts are also introduced. If you see the books of class 2 and 3, there are at least one theme chapters in both the classes. In class 2, the chapter Maghe Mela, the children along with their parents go to visit Maghe Mela in Jorthang. They come across various games and rides like merry-go-round, Columbus, roller coaster, swing, and giant wheel. They observe the rate boards and decide to play games according to the amount of money which they have. So they are thinking critically with regard to the money and with regard to the rate charts which are given in the games. They also come across various food stalls selling momo, sekua, selroti, etc. So here what we see is that internally the children is doing some sort of calculations to save money from the games and for the foodstuffs. So if we see the chapter, it has all the elements of math like counting, addition, subtraction, data handling and shapes. So Maaghe Mela as a theme chapter tries to bring all the ideas of math in one particular chapter. Similarly in class 3, a true story of the vegetable seller Chandra Kumari from Pakyong has been given. The chapter deals with money, data handling, addition, subtraction and multiplication in a subtle way. As individuals in our life, we also don't deal with numbers in isolation. We are all doing all the operations of math in some way or the other, and hence a thematic chapter has a beauty of going through storytelling and activities within the story where the children are encouraged to do problems related to math in a very organic way. While teaching math in lower classes, the teachers are requested to give ample time to the children to explore. The teacher should engage the children in storytelling. Some of the questions given in the books are only exemplars, and teachers are kindly requested to frame as much questions as possible to help the children think critically and explore. Even if the answers given by the children are incorrect, it should not be treated as wrong, and the teacher should explore why the child has given that answer. The way a teacher thinks and a child thinks can be different, and hence we should encourage the child to participate in a healthy discussion rather than telling him that his answer was incorrect. We need to give more time and more opportunities to the child. For this, we request teachers to have little bit patience with the children, as along with the time the children will be able to understand what the teacher is trying to convey in the classroom. For example, if we go to chapter 3, Shape Around Us, for class 2. So the learning outcome of these chapters are the child is able to identify basic 3D shapes such as cuboid, cylinder, cone and sphere by their names. The objective of the lesson is for the children to understand the shapes of objects around him. The child is familiar with most of the 3D objects around him like ball, box, pencils, crayon, oranges, apple, ice cream cones, globes, dusters, books, Ludo dice, etc. As we all know, all these objects identify particular shapes like cylinder, cone, cuboid. So for the child to develop a special sense, they should be given more opportunities to feel the objects and name them. In the book, there's a game called Guess Its Name. In the evening, the family come together and play a game, Who Am I? So now during this lockdown period when we all are inside our homes with our family, it is a very good opportunity for the parents to play along with their children. So if you go to the class 2 books, we can see the story has been written in a comic format with different characters talking to each other and a conversation taking place. So I'm just going to read the story which is there in Guess the Name. So I'm just reading the story. In a school vacation, and Tika is visiting his aunt Ashwini. He is excited to meet his aunt, his grandmother and his cousins. In the evening, they get together to play the game Who Am I? So, grandmother Ashwini, we are playing a game. Who am I? I have put some things in this bag. Put your hands inside and hold one of them. Feel it and describe it. Can you guess what it is? Now Tika, she places her hands inside the bags and imagines it's round and round everywhere. No corners, not flat at all. It's a ball. The grandmother, yes, let's clap for her. Guess what it is? Now the another child in the family, he places his hands and says long, round and flat on both the sides. It's a new pencil. Your turn, Debu. It's long and flat everywhere. Is it a pencil box? So this is how the story has been introduced, and we have never talked about the terms cylinder, sphere, cube, cuboid, cone, etc. So we are giving opportunities to the child to understand these terms by playing along with the child. So, if we read the story, the emphasis given here is on thinking of shapes. Some objects are placed in a bag and the contents, and the children have to guess what it is. They feel the bag and assume that since there is no corners, it can be a ball. Similarly, something long and round is there which they feel it is a pencil or a pen. Hence, it is not necessary for the child to know the shapes, but they need to identify only the shapes. Hence, while dealing with these chapters, teachers can apply different situations where the child is able to differentiate different objects by touching or feeling them. So if we see the classroom transaction or the pedagogical process, here the process has been the story format with dialogues between the character. The teacher can arrange for a game inside the classroom with children playing the characters in the story. Here one story is given. The teacher can add a new story where the learning objective has to be shapes. The children should be given ample opportunities to feel objects around him. Hence we can see that if we are deviating from the usual way where we start teaching by giving examples of a sphere like ball, orange, cylinder like cube, cuboid and cone, the children is not able to comprehend those terms because the child has not experienced what a sphere looks like, what a cylinder looks like, what a cube, cuboid and cone look like. So hence, lots of examples will have to be given for the children to comprehend terms like sphere, cylinder, cube, cuboid and cones. Hence, we can see the new books differs in terms of pedagogical approach as compared to the earlier one. In the new books, teaching learning takes place through storytelling and activities. So if we see during the process of teaching learning, assessment also goes hand in hand. So as teachers, you will be able to know along with the game that which of the children are able to understand round objects, flat objects, pointed objects, corner shaped objects. So children with learning difficulties can be given more opportunities to play the game where they can feel the object and describe it. One of the SDG goals is health and well-being, and promoting playing games like Luka-Chupi, Pittu, we are also subconsciously instilling a sense of health and well-being of the child. So teaching learning cannot be a one-sided activity, and the children will learn when they are also involved as characters in the story. Hence, my request would be that teachers will have to develop more and more ideas and stories with a sense of achieving the learning outcomes as prescribed for each chapter. Now, if we see another theme chapter, we have a chapter called The Vegetable Seller in Class 3. So here, the context which has been taken in the chapter is a real story of a vegetable seller, Mrs. Chandrakumari from Pakyong. So it gives the complete story of the lady who had to face a lot of difficulties in her life and start selling vegetables. So this is a theme chapter. So if you see the chapter, it describes the dealing of the child with currency notes. So it's an introduction to chapter money, and if currency notes are introduced, then we can see the chapter has a lot of activities where the currencies are used for addition, subtractions. We can see tally marks, we can see data handling in the same chapter, we can see shapes also in the same chapter. So a lot of activities are there dealt in single chapter. And the story is also very interesting for the child and the teacher to teach. So similar stories can also be taken from real life scenarios of the locality where the children are studying, and teachers can also come along with different ideas where the introduction of shapes, introduction of addition, subtraction, currency can be done using stories from their own local background. Hence, we from SCRT Education Departments will be always there to support you during your process of teaching learning. These are the difficult times, and we know all of you are right now engaged in classroom teaching in an online method, but you are helpless as you are not able to go to the schools, and hence we are always there to help you in your time of crisis, and we request that you are always free to ask us your doubts, if any, at SCRT and Education Department. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rajiv sir. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mrs. Kunji Namju, and since Rajiv sir has already given you an insight into the textbook, my topic will be on chapter 1 of class 1, looking around. So I'll start with the features of the lesson. The title of the lesson is looking around. So if you look at the text, you will see that there are pictures of a child and its environment. So we will naturally relate it to the environment. But this lesson intends to teach about spatial understanding, which involves understanding how various objects in our surroundings are spatially related to each other, as well as understanding the different features of various shapes that we see. For example, we'll take a baby's world. In the beginning, a baby is limited to the space that is close around him or her. As the baby grows, it explores objects within reach and begins to develop concepts such as near, far, big, small, etc. And as the child grows, the world around him or her expands, and new spatial ideas such as in, out, under, over form. So eventually these concepts are linked with language and a well-developed spatial sense. This will help children learn numbers and measurements better. So it is an important mathematical ability that children need to develop in their early age. Cognitive skills must be developed to understand objects in terms of its space occupancy, its views from different positions, and its mathematical aspects. Someone with good spatial abilities will be able to think about how an object will look from a different position or if it is rotated. Therefore, looking around is the first chapter of the book. Spatial awareness is also important. It is important for children to be able to talk about things in their environment. This helps them to communicate about the relationship among things in their environment. They need to learn the vocabulary, including inside, outside, on, under, above, below, to show how things are spatially related. They also need to understand bigger, smaller, and biggest, smallest, relating to the size of various things. The focus of the chapter is on the learning outcome. Use spatial relationship and vocabulary based on observable properties such as inside, outside, biggest, smallest, top, bottom, nearer, farther, on, under, above, below, thick, thin. So to achieve this outcome, the learning outcome, the pedagogical approaches that are taken in this lesson are, you will see that there is more of pictorial content there, which are contextual and familiar, in the sense that when you look at the pictures there, they are of objects that are familiar to the children. They use them in their daily life, have seen them, and even the settings are contextual. Pictures of villages, rural settings, pictures of traveling in a vehicle, etc. Another pedagogical approach that has been used is storytelling, which has been used to introduce vocabulary, bigger, smaller. Then there are fun activities like coloring activities, where the learning takes place indirectly. The child is doing the activity but subconsciously learning about seeing the different shapes. I'd also like to talk about the uniqueness of this lesson. What you see is the examples that are used in the lesson are in context. They are of settings of Sikkim, like you will see paddy fields and houses, and you will see the traditional attire worn by the different communities of Sikkim, a local transport like the SNT bus which are used, and you will see local animals, the local vegetables and fruits. These are used to familiarize students with their learning environment, as well as become a source of new knowledge for the children. Because as we all know, as teachers, we know, all of us know that children are there who learn in the rural areas also, and there are children who are in the towns, so they will get to know each other's habitats well. If the children are shown images of things that are unfamiliar to them, it might not be interesting for them to learn. For example, see, if you show them any item of South India, a South Indian item will look unfamiliar to them, and they will not relate to it, nor will they find it interesting. And so we use familiar images and words to help children understand and visualize better. So this way, use of contextual pictures, contextual settings is used in this lesson. The next point I would speak about is role of the teacher. Since I myself am a teacher, I know what my shortcomings are, where I should be, what is the role that I should play. So we are aware of a child in class 1. In class 1, a child is yet to read fluently, is yet to build on reading simple sentences. So the chapter is mostly picture based. Hence the teaching learning processes can be made interactive by the teacher by getting the children to look at the pictures given there on the test and ask on what is happening there in the picture. Questions could be asked like, what do you see in the picture? Who are the people there? Which animals are there? So this way questions can be asked to the children. Teacher should hold the book appropriately, show the pictures, introduce the terms given there, inside, outside, bigger, smaller, top, bottom, etc. and then do the teaching. And apart from the textbook, so many more ways can be adopted. For example, for teaching nearer, farther, bigger, smaller, these can be done practically in the classroom. The teacher can ask children to collect objects. Like this activity can be done both by the teacher and the children. And then they can be used, the objects can be used to show them the differences in their shapes and sizes. And then this way it can be an interactive class. The next point I would like to talk about is on assessment. So I suggest asking questions that will encourage children to think. For example, the question, what are the games you play inside your home? If the idea of inside is easily understood by the child, he or she will easily say which games are played inside. He or she will be able to distinguish the difference between games that are played inside the house and outside the house. So that way. Another question that can be asked is, I'd like you to name 3 things you saw on your way to school. Which of these cannot be kept inside your bag? A question like this helps develop a child's observation skill as well as help reason why certain things cannot be kept inside a bag because of its size or shape. For example, when a child is on the way back to school, he or she will probably see vehicles running around, they will see houses, they will see small objects, big objects, they will see different shaped objects. So he or she will reason, like talk to himself, herself and say, I cannot put this car inside my bag. It will not fit because it is so big. Or I can put this pencil in my bag. I can put this packet of biscuit in my bag. So these kind of questions will help the children to think. Another question that can be asked is, have you traveled to a place outside Gangtok? Which vehicle did you travel in? What did you see inside the vehicle? So questions like these. For practical assessment, children can be asked to draw a fruit outside a basket as well as inside a basket. So this way practical assessment can be done to gauge the idea whether the concept of inside outside has been made in the child's mind. A discussion can also be done to why we should remain inside the house during the lockdown. So this is an appropriate time to do such type of question. And games are another ways of assessing children. So there is one game that I know of where you can play in and out. I've seen it being played in my school also. The children of my school play this game. But it'd be better if this game could be played by drawing a circle and asking the children to stand on the line. Then the teacher can instruct them to jump inside or outside the circle. So this way this can be played. It can be enjoyable for the child as well as assessment. Assessment will be happening there without them knowing it. They'll be enjoying doing the activity, but the teacher can be able to assess them. The next point I would like to talk on is suggestive pedagogical processes. So activities both in the classroom as well as outside the classroom would foster learning of spatial understanding in children. For example, if you look at the book, you will see that nearer and farther is shown pictorially there. But this can be done practically by making the children stand nearer and farther from the teacher. The child who is standing near the teacher and the child who is standing farther from the teacher are experiencing it, and the children who are watching them are learning by watching. So this way, these activities are good pedagogical processes. Most stories can be used to introduce vocabulary. We should keep in mind that the stories should be read out to the children, as well as they can be asked to enact so that they'll understand the vocabulary through direct experience. I suggest reading out the stories like I mentioned earlier. Children will at this age will not be able to read fluently. So it would be better if the teacher reads out for them. Another direct experience that the children can have to learn on, under, above, below can be outside the classroom, where they can be asked to show what things are on the ground, what are the things that you see on the roof, what do you see on the tree, what do you see below the tree. So questions like these. These are experiential learning experiences for the child. So pedagogical strategies such as exploration of objects and space through touch and sight helps them to recognize spatial features and construct mental and visual representations of shapes and arrangements in space. The ESD elements that are embedded in the lesson, this has been done through pictures, stories and activities. They promote family bonding, caring for animals and dignity of labor through farm work. So this way this lesson has been prepared and has been made very child friendly, as well as the teacher may also be involved in the activities and will definitely find it a better way of making teaching learning enjoyable as well as successful in class. Now lastly, I would like to ask the teachers to make use of the teacher pages given at the end of the textbook, because I have experience of this. We hardly use the teacher pages that are given. So the teacher pages at the end of the textbook have links and suggestions of activities that teachers can make use of. For example, you will see on page 138, there is a story of the sweet-toothed black bear, through which you can teach spatial understanding. And while reading, the teacher can make it interactive by asking questions like, where was Bhalu? Where was the village? So this way, the story can be read out to them and then made interesting. Another activity mentioned there is a throwing activity, where children will be asked to throw chalk pieces or balls inside a box. So during this activity, some balls will fall inside the box, some balls will fall outside the box, some will fall near the box, some will fall farther. So these concepts of spatial understanding can be used, this game can be used to teach these concepts to them. So this activity is very useful to them, and I hope you all try it out in class. There is a link in page 140, which is also given, and you can use it for various age appropriate activities. So these are the main points that I wanted to talk about in this chapter, looking around in class 1. And this is very good for developing spatial understanding in children. So I end my talk on this. Thank you very much.
So if we see the class 1 book, even the name of the book we have not told. We have kept the book's name as a character from the book, Square Bear. So if you go to the chapter 3, the heading of the chapter 3 is combining and removing. So normally the chapter should be having addition and subtraction, but we have not kept it as addition and subtraction because we don't want the children to know what is exactly addition and subtraction. So if we see here, we have a story here of 5 friends. So Dorji, Rohan, Samten, Dicky, Abhishek and Nalasa. They want to play a game of Pittu, which is locally played among all the children. But there was a problem. They divided the 2 teams, and both the teams wanted to have Abhishek in their teams. So there is a small character there. Can you guess why? Some of the character says he is the best hitter. So here we have tried to actually put in a character of CWSN without actually telling that this is a CWSN. So if you see the pictures, Abhishek is someone who has some physical disability, but we have not told in the book exactly what the physical disability is. So here the team has been divided into Abhishek, Seema, Samina and Dicky in one team, and Dorji, Rohan and Nalasa in the other team. So if we see the comic strip here, we can see on the first comic strip, we can see there are 7 stones. Out of the 7 stones, 3 stones are lying on the ground and 4 on the stack. So here the child has to add 3 stones on the 4 to make it a 7. Similarly, there is a question there, that is 1 stone is lying on the floor with 6 on the ground, 6 on the stack. So the children will have to answer what is there. So similarly, we have placed our examples like that. So wherever it is the examples are given, we can see हामीले कुनै जग्गामा पनि addition र subtraction भन्ने word गरेको लगाएको छैन. तर पनि नानीहरूले जब उनीहरूले यो हेर्छ, उनीहरूले बुझ्छ यहाँ हामीले add गर्नुपर्ने छ, यहाँ हामीले कुनै कुरा यहाँ हामीले घटाउनु पर्ने छ. So this has been done very subconsciously so that the message of addition and subtraction goes to the child with a organical feeling. Similarly, if you go to another chapter, Neeraj's kitchen garden. So here a family is there in front of a TV and all the children are watching TV, and Neeraj says, I shall bring fruits for all. So he counts the number of people in the room. So there are 15 people, and he goes to the garden and plucks 8 peaches. Now he decides how many peaches should I pick more so that it can go to 15. So here the child is critically thinking about the number of pieces he has to pluck from the garden. So he keeps on plucking 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. And yes, then he says, I have 15 fruits. So similarly, the questions are also given in the same way. Let us help Neeraj know how many peaches and how many peaches are required to make a total of 17. So one basket we have a peach of 7, and in another basket we have a piece of 8, and the child needs to physically count the number of peaches to make it into a total of 17. So some of the assignments given on this page number 92, 93 and 94 are all based on this activity of Neeraj garden. So similarly, if you go to some other chapters, for example, if you go to bigger numbers. So when we talk about bigger numbers, we have gone to a garden with onion and potato. So the child is able to see a stack of onion and a stack of potato. So when we ask for the child to understand which stack has the bigger numbers. So obviously the child will have a sense of understanding that which is shown more will have bigger number. So this is how we are introducing bigger and a smaller number, and from there on the counting of bigger and smaller number has been taken care of. Similarly, for long and heavy, we have shown pictures where there are long pencils and there are pictures of short pencils which have been sharpened, and we have got pictures of cucumber, pictures of peanuts, then we have got pictures of cow and a calf. So if you see the books, all the pictures here are colorfully made, so the visually the pictures are being given more importance so that the child will be able to understand the things visually rather than we telling them that which is big and which is small. So this way, if you see the if you see the books have been pedagogically very different compared to the previous books which we are doing, and this book has tried to embed all the SDG goals along with all the local customs cultures of our state. Thank you very much.
सिक्किमका सम्पूर्ण शिक्षक तथा शिक्षिका वर्गलाई म भीम ठटाल, डाइरेक्टर प्राइमेरी एजुकेसन अनि डाइरेक्टर समग्र शिक्षाको तर्फबाट नमस्कार। यो लकडाउनको समयमा हाम्रा शिक्षक शिक्षिकाहरूले विद्यार्थीसम्म पुग्ने विभिन्न साधन मार्फत जति पनि कोसिस गरिरहनु भएको छ त्यसको लागि हामी तपाईहरुलाई धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद दिन्छौं। अहिले यो लकडाउनको समयमा रेडियो मार्फत, टिभी मार्फत, हाम्रो सिक्किम एडुटेक एप मार्फत अनि विभिन्न व्हाट्सएप ग्रुपहरूबाट तपाईहरूले जुन प्रकारले शिक्षणको क्रमलाई जारी राख्नु भएको छ त्यो अति सराहनीय छ। यहाँहरूलाई एउटा जानकारी दिन चाहन्छु म कि सिक्किम सरकारको शिक्षा विभागले तयार पारेको जुन प्राइमेरी स्कुलको लागि प्राइमेरी टेक्स्ट बुक छ त्यो टेक्स्ट बुक तयार भएर आइसकेको छ र यो टेक्स्ट बुक सिक्किमको एससीआरटी समग्र शिक्षा, युनेस्को अनि अजिम प्रेमजी युनिभर्सिटीको तत्वावधानमा तयार पारिएको हो र यसलाई चाहिँ अब हामीले स्कुलमा पढाउनु भन्दा पहिला शिक्षक शिक्षिकाहरूले यसलाई कसरी चलाउनु, यसको प्रयोग कसरी गर्नु त्यसको बारे प्रशिक्षण लिनु अति आवश्यक छ। तर लकडाउनले गर्दाखेरि कुनै एक ठाउँ आएर प्रशिक्षण लिनु सम्भव नभएकोले गर्दाखेरि हामीले यो प्रशिक्षण पनि रेडियो मार्फत नै चलाइरहेका छौं र यो किताब कसरी चलाउनु पर्ने त्यसको बारे आकाशवाणी गान्तोकबाट सोमबार, बुधबार र शुक्रबार दिउँसो 12 बजेदेखि 1 बजेसम्म प्रशिक्षण प्रसारण गरिनेछ। अप्रिल 22 तारिक इंग्लिशमा मिस लरिसा लेप्चा अनि उहाँका सहयोगीहरू र अप्रिल 24 तारिक ईबीएस का लागि मिस दिकिला लेप्चा अनि उहाँका सहयोगीहरूले आकाशवाणी गान्तोकको रेडियो मार्फत यो प्रशिक्षण दिनुहुनेछ। हाम्रा सिक्किमका प्राथमिक शिक्षक शिक्षिकाहरूको लागि म यो जानकारी दिन चाहन्छु कि यो नयाँ पाठ्य पुस्तकलाई कसरी चलाउने बारेमा अब आगामी दिनमा कुनै अरू प्रकारको ट्रेनिङहरू गरिने छैन। त्यसर्थ यही ट्रेनिङलाई नै तपाईहरूले जहाँ पनि हुनुहुन्छ जसरी पनि भए पनि रेडियो मार्फत तपाईहरूले सुनिदिनुहोस् र यो प्रशिक्षण तपाईहरूले हासिल गर्नुहोस् भनेर म विनम्र निवेदन गर्दछु। धन्यवाद।